Alright, what's going on everyone? It is Super here and I'm bringing you guys another MKX video, and today I'm not going to be playing online. I'm actually going to be doing some more character videos, character change videos. You guys know MKXL brought a huge patch with a lot of character changes, so if you guys have missed any of my previous ones, make sure you guys look for it on the channel. I've done one on Jason, I've done one on Warrior Predator, a bunch of characters. And today I'm going to add another to the list. This is Tanya. And the variations that I play are KOBU, JUTSUJ, and PYROMANCER. Those are the only ones that I really play and put time into. So I'm sorry for you Dragon Naginata mains, but I don't play the variations, so I'm not going to be able to tell you guys how the changes affect the character significantly. So let's first start off with KOBU JUTSUJ, because this variation was one of the most complained about variations in the entire game, along with Summoner Quan Chi, Tempest Lao, etc. So let's get started here. One of the biggest changes to Tanya is her back one is now 1 frame slower, and I know 1 frame might not sound like a lot, but when you have a mid as good as this one right here that leads into many combo strings, many pressure situations, 1 frame slower is actually a pretty big difference. And so this is a little bit slower now. It's 10 frames. It used to be 9 frames. It's very good. Mid to overhead, 2 hits, very good. You could cancel it into your Rekka, you could cancel it into your EX Tonfa toss, which I'll talk about that. But that's really significant in my opinion. 1 frame slower. So they actually also made this string punishable on block. Back 1, 2+4 is now -10. This string, if you don't cancel it into anything, is punishable on block. And I'll show you guys right now. I'm sorry if I don't punish it right off the gate, because I myself do not have practice with this because it used to be safe. So, alright, let's try that again. So as you guys see, Tanya's EX teleport is 7 frames. It's very good to punish things that normally wouldn't be punishable or would be hard punishes. My standing jab is 8 frames. The string is -10, so I only have 2 frames, to actually punish it. And with online, sometimes it can be tricky. So to go for the safe bet and the safe damage, the 7 frame EX move is really good to punish. It's always been that way, just people don't use it too much, including myself. I'm guilty of it. But please guys, the EX teleport is very good to punish things that normally are a hard punish. So 7 frames, very good. So that string is now -10 on block. It used to be -6, something like that. But it's not too much of a difference, I would say, because most Tanyas didn't really use this by itself. Where it actually makes a difference is the cancel advantage. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I am, which I don't think I am, because I use this variation quite a lot. Let's put arrow. Alright, so this being -10 now, it makes it so where it it has a gap between this string and the first Rekka. So it didn't used to have this before, but now if you do this, there's actually a gap there. So no matter what you do, there's a gap in it. You do that, you do that, you do any move, there's a gap in it now, because it is -10. So it's not significant as far as this being by itself. But now when people try to cancel the back 1, 2+4, you could armor through it every single time. And one of the things that is still in the game, which you could play mind games on your opponent, you could condition them, is her EX Rekka. So this is 2-hitting multiple string. Yeah, awesome, man, awesome wording. So this is a move that hits multiple times very quickly, as you guys see. So it breaks armor, right? And this actually received a huge change, which now it does not have armor anymore. So let's see if I could demonstrate. There, you guys saw right there, it beat my move clean. And this used to have armor, so this was like the primary wake up for Tanya's before. This has armor, 2 hits. You know, it's gonna blow by a lot of moves that are gonna try to break it. It's very fast, you know, so it was really good. And if you guys could believe it, before, like, you know, a couple months back, this move actually was glitched, so it had 2 hits of armor. Yeah, ridiculous, right? Tanya actually used to be like insane. It's like S+ tier before all the changes, and I think she's still good. But you know, back to the mind game. So the mind game now on your back 1, 2 plus 4 is you could actually do your EX version of the Rekkas, and that's gonna break all armor and allow you to go into your offense. And you could actually meter burn her last Rekka, which it works the same. It keeps your Rekka pressure safe. You know, so if you do this, it actually keeps your Rekkas completely safe. You're only -2, but of course you have to do it extremely fast. You cannot waste any time doing, you know, delaying it at all, because if not, it's gonna be, you know, be able to, there's gonna have a gap, and your opponent's gonna be able to armor through it. And there's actually like a huge window now. Like, if you want to try to delay your Rekkas even a little bit, even this is not gonna cover your ass anymore. Look at this. See, as you guys see, you have to like really commit to it and just be really quick about it. See, even right there, I try to do it really fast, and you could still armor through it. So you have to like really commit to it so your opponent won't be able to armor through it. I will say one thing, this one is completely safe. Actually, not completely safe, not to the whole cast. Like, the first Rekka is actually only -7. So you could do, you know, you could do this and still relatively be safe, you know what I mean? But if you want to do back 1, 2 plus 4, and you want to, you know, maybe condition your opponent to actually take this instead of armoring through it every time, you could do your EX Rekka, and it'll blow right by their armor, and you'll be, you know, in prime position to either try to go for more pressure, chip damage, or just go for, you know, some full damage by meter burning your last Rekka and launching them. So now let's go into you know, the damage actually got nerfed for Tanya on the Rekkas, which is you know, crazy, because she has had multiple times where the damage has gotten nerfed, and now it's you know, definitely a significant difference. So this actually used to do around 36%, and as you guys see, now it does 29% for 1 bar meter. And that's the whole thing with Tanya. Like, they wanted Tanya to be a pressure character that does a lot of chip damage, that builds a lot of meter with her Rekkas, and that's something she still does. So I'll show you guys right now. She still does a ton of chip. So let's just say your opponent takes all this, right? Your opponent takes all this. Look at that. That's around 7% of chip damage, something like that. So, you know, you guys are seeing a lot of Tanyas do this and, you know, do all that stuff. That's still going to be the same, because her chip damage is still crazy. You know, that's what her game plan is. That's why they didn't change any of the chip damage too much. They just reduced the amount of damage she does normally, and they made it so where this move actually has a gap in it no matter what. You could still do this though. No gaps in that. Of course, if you do it fast enough, like I mentioned, but there is no gap between back 1 Rekka, you know, so that is definitely what you want to do as a Tanya player. You don't want to do this string anymore, because you could armor through it every time, unless you condition your opponent by, you know, doing the EX Rekka that's going to break armor. You definitely want to use back 1. So let's move on here to another string that actually got the nerf treatment. Her standing 3-4. This is actually, it has way more frames of, you know, you have to wait many more frames to actually cancel into a special move, and I'll show you guys right now. So what a lot of Tanyas would do was a regular bread and butter combo, just like this, and end it with this. And as you guys see, it takes a lot longer for you to cancel into your special move after the standing 3-4 now. Shit. Haven't played with Tanya in a bit, can you guys tell? So yeah, as you guys see, that used to work. It doesn't work anymore because they added a lot more frames to, you know, the cancel window of that. So you have to wait a lot longer before you could cancel into a special move. So even right there, like that normally would have hit immediately. You would have been able to cancel it immediately, and now they added a lot more time in between the cancel windows. So you cannot use this in a combo ender anymore. You have to actually hit the opponent when they're standing to actually, you know, connect the move, because it's not going to, you know, all these moves would not connect if the opponent was in the air. As you guys see, it's too slow. You can't cancel it quick enough anymore. So now you definitely want to end all your combos in, you know, this, if you want to go for damage, right? So show you guys how much her damage got nerfed. This used to do 40%, somewhere around there. So that used to do 40%, 42%, 41, depending. You could neutral jump punch to get to 42. I think that one was 41. And now it does 35. So as you guys see, they definitely nerfed her damage. And as far as KOBU Jutsu Tanya, that's pretty much about it. One thing I forgot to mention, of course, is her EX Tonfa now is neutral on block. So it is 0. She used to be able to, you know, jail you pretty much into her standing 1. You know, you were able to actually loop this if the opponent was not ducking and their hitbox was, you know, small enough to actually make the Tonfa returning completely miss. You were actually able to loop this on block, her standing 1. But now, as you guys see, I'm not able to do that because she's neutral, so it takes her a lot longer to actually be able to do a move. But this used to be, you know, like I said, can't do it anymore, like really fast. So that used to jail you, now it doesn't. Now it's, you know, neutral on block. So let's see, I guess I'll show you guys this way. Record her doing it. Whoops. I'm gonna block now. Actually, that doesn't prove anything. I'm blocking. I'm gonna try to do standing 1 as fast as I can. Mash that shit. I'm gonna do the teleport. As you guys see, I beat it clean because my teleport is 7 frames, while her standing jab is 8 frames. So, you know, I'm able to beat it clean. And, you know, that's one of the big differences, because before, like I said, you were able to, you know, jail your opponent, especially if you did off back 1. You know, there was pretty much nothing they could do. They couldn't armor through the, you know, in between your first move and the Rekka. So now that is completely gone. When she does the, you know, anything into her Tonfa, when it comes back, you're completely neutral. You could down poke. They don't have advantage. You don't have advantage. So, you know, it all depends what you do after that. But that's why I say that, you know, this move is pretty much, it's not useless, because you could use it from like full screen or something like that. And you could still, you know, get some really good chip damage. But it's better to, you know, use it like this. If you're actually going to spend the bar meter to try to do chip damage, definitely do it on the Rekkas, because you stay safe and it does way more chip damage. So I think that about summons KOBU Jutsu Tanya. She's still very good. She still does what she wants to do. She still has, you know, back 1 is still really good. It's 10 frame mid that goes from mid to overhead and leads to, you know, okay damage now. For bar 29%, she does a crazy amount of chip damage, and she builds a lot of meter in the process. So I think she's still good. She's just not ridiculous like she was before. You know, if all the top tiers like Quan Chi and Tempest Lao, and Tremor. If all those top tiers were gonna get nerfed, you know, Tanya had to get the nerf hammer as well. So I think, you know, all the characters are pretty much fair. I think KOBU Tanya is definitely fair. She might still be annoying to play versus because she could still get you into block pressure. Especially if you're facing a really good Tanya that conditions you to, you know, not armor through anything. You know, it's still gonna be a pain in the ass, but you know, you could definitely do many more things. You have a lot more options now, especially after this, and especially if your opponent likes doing that string, you know, you have a lot more options. So that's KOBU Tanya. Let's move on now to Pyromancer, and I'm not going to talk about Pyromancer for too long because the only change that they made to Pyromancer was actually the recovery on her fireballs is a lot less than it was before, which is amazing because, you know, pre-patched, this is how she was pre-patched, and the reason they nerfed her in Pyromancer was because you were actually able to do, you know, her teleports multiple times and, you know, do a fireball, teleport, go in, do a fireball, teleport, stuff like that. But as you guys see, whenever you do a fireball after she teleports, she's really punishable. I mean, no one's gonna punish her full screen, you know what I mean? But what I meant was she has way more recovery frames when she does a fireball off a teleport than when she does a fireball, you know, just standing on the ground. As you guys see, almost no recovery, really good. Her fireballs are good. You know, the Pyromancer is all about zoning. That's what this variation is about, all about zoning. But whenever you do a teleport and then a fireball, you know, you have a lot more recovery frames, so you can't just spam out fireball, teleport, fireball, stuff like that. And that's what she was able to do before, like way pre-patch Tanya, and she definitely cannot do that. As you guys see, it takes a lot longer to shoot out another fireball after a teleport. So that's pretty much it. That's actually that's all I wanted for Pyromancer, because her recovery on her fireballs, you know, no matter what before, was ridiculous. You could actually get punished for, you know, throwing a fireball, your opponent blocks it, and maybe it's a Sub-Zero, he runs in and slides on you when you're trying to do another fireball or something like that. You could actually get punished for trying to zone people out, and that's what this whole variation is about. Of course, her dust is still the same. She's still incredibly plus after this. The dust is like plus on block or really safe on block. Let's actually check, shall we? So the dust is only -4 on block, and it's plus 52. You know, it's still good because you could still, you know, bait your opponent into falling in for the dust again. It's completely safe too. So what I like to do, and what a lot of Pyromancers like to do, is do a string into dust. If they block it, your opponent's going to try to do a special move. So you do your armored version of the dust. It's going to leave you plus 52. So you could, you know, go for your overhead, you could fake your overhead and go for a grab, you could go for the low. You know, you have a lot of options with plus 52, you know what I mean? It's really good. And this by itself, like if your opponent actually gets caught by the overhead, look how much damage that does, 29%. Really good, right? And if they get caught by the low, that's 23% after taking the dust. You know, very good. You could zone people out if they get touched. 16% on the ground, 17% fireballs, 20% EX fireballs. Let's see. It's like 23% if both of them hit you in the air. 22%. There's an angle in which, I don't know if it's always been a glitch. It's like a very specific spot in which you could get 32%, which I'll try to get it for you guys. It's like very specific. Let's see if I could try to get it. It does 32%, which is crazy. So if you actually get it, you know, EX Fireball gives you 32%. Pretty fucking good. 32%. There you go, guys. It's a incredibly specific spot in which you have to, you know, shoot your fireballs or your EX fireballs in the air to get that 32%. Realistically, you're not going to get this in a match, but it's, you know, you get it in training mode a couple times, 32%. It's pretty fucking It's pretty fucking cool, man. And of course, you know, on block, let's see. See how much chip damage these do on block. So the fireballs do 6% chip on block. God damn, that is a lot. Wow, I actually have not like played Pyromancer in a bit. See if you do this and you block it. That does a lot. There is a gap in between this, between the last hit, in between the 2 and the 1 and 2. There's actually a gap in between there, so you don't have to take it. The EX1 does 6% as well, right? Yeah, 6.5. Damn, that is a lot of chip, man. You get your opponent in that game-ending situation. There's no gap in between. There's no gap in between this right here. You know what I mean? So you get a lot of damage. You know, game-ending situation. Boom, boom, boom. That is a ton of chip. Let's see. That is around 8% chip, 7.5% chip, something like that, which is super, super good. And that's about it, guys. Those are the changes with Tanya. Remember, every time that when you're in Pyromancer, you want your opponent to be covered in that purple stuff, in that good purple stuff all the time. So always end your combos in the purple stuff. And, you know, remember, the purple stuff is completely safe on block. So your opponent blocks it, EX it again, EX it again until they fucking fall for the purple stuff. And you could go for, you know, pretty much anything. Look at this. A regular fireball, right? They get caught, boom, 17% when they have that purple stuff. You know, it's, I think it's a really strong variation. Hopefully people go back to it because I love Tanya and I love her in Pyromancer. I'm definitely going to start playing her a lot more. So that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the changes to Tanya in KOBU and Pyromancer. But other than that, I will see you guys next time.